So good morning to everyone. I say good morning, but it's night for me. As you will guess from my name and my accent, I'm based in Paris. So I'm happy to say hello from a lockdown city and country, by the way. And when I'm speaking, our government is announcing new restrictions. So I will learn more after this presentation. But anyway, so today, sorry. Yes. So quick introduction about myself. I don't want to spend too much time presenting myself. As Miles presented me, I'm Olivier Latour, so I'm French. I'm working, three figures about myself. So 32, it's because it's near 32 years that I'm working in HR space in different companies, international companies. So 4 is, by the way, the number of companies that I've worked. That's not a lot, but I started in a large IT company in France that was bought a lot of years ago by IBM. So I spent near 15 years in IBM. Then I've worked for Fidelity Investment, and then for the last 10 years, I'm working in ADP, and especially in ADP based in EMEA. So I'm based in Paris, but as you will see, I'm leading a part of what we call business consulting, which is called pre-sales in some other companies. And I'm working for EMEA South, which is Italy, France, Spain, and I'm also leading a team in Bucharest, but I will go back on that in a few minutes. The other stuff to present myself will be quick. As you see from my baby picture, I'm not young. So that's my birth date. And I have one big hobby. I'm an insect collector, as you see everywhere on my presentation slide. And I also very like Versailles, as you see also in my background. So don't hesitate to connect with me in Twitter or in LinkedIn. I would be very happy to connect with you. So today, as we choose to present, I want you to share the way we in ADP, and especially ADP ESI, but I will explain what means ESI in a few minutes, how we streamline our sales process, and maybe I should have said pre-sales processes in an international company, and with a specificity that we have a very complex solution for portfolio, as we are covering a lot of countries and a lot of activities. So we will cover all the points that I've highlighted in that agenda, and let's start. So I will start by a very quick presentation about ADP. I don't know if you know ADP. We are quite well known in the HR space. So ADP is a global company. We are a global provider for cloud-based HR solutions, covering every aspect: payroll, HR, talent, and also benefit administration. And we are mainly delivering outsourcing servicing around HR. So we have been created in the 50s in the US, and we are now one of the largest, maybe the largest provider of HR services in North America, Europe, Latin America, but also in Asia Pacific. So we are a large company. We are near 60,000, 58 to be precise, associates worldwide, with 50 million of employees served every month. And we operate in 15 countries, as you see in the map below in blue, and we can serve customers in 140 countries through solutions that we own, and we maintain by ourselves, but also through a partner network, because it's difficult to have the knowledge of the regulatory and especially regulatory everywhere. Huh? So on some countries, we are going through partners. Okay. So we're quite a big company with a lot of activity. And what's interesting to understand is the way we are organized and the challenge that we have. So I think it's mainly US attendees, as far as I understand, to this conference. But you have to know that in ADP, our sales organization is divided into totally independent business units with one boss, obviously. So in ADP, we are talking about employer services for all North America. We call it internally ES. And the other side is, I would say, the rest of the world. So I belong to the rest of the world. That's what we call internally Employer Services International, so ESI. That's why you will see several times on my slide ESI instead of ADP. So ESI, and I will talk mainly about the business unit where to which I'm belonging. In ESI, we are organized in 3 regions, EMEA, LATAM, and Asia Pacific. And the sales organization counts around 450 sales representatives. We call them district managers, but it's sales. And in my organization, we have around 80 business consultants, but 80 business consultants spread in 15 nationalities and 15 countries. And one of our specificity in ADP, ESI especially speaking, is that we are covering from the very small business, very, very small company to mid-market and to local large companies, but also we are dealing with international accounts. So a lot of sales representatives to support, and with a quite significant team of business consultants. But as you will see, this has to be compared and put in perspective with the portfolio of solutions that we propose to our customer. One of the challenges that we have is that, payroll is a very country-specific solution or topic. So in ADP, we deliver, and especially in ESI, we are selling 2 types of solution. First, what we call single country solution. It's local solution with local payroll, local modules, local regulatory. So you have the list of countries that we are where we do have our own solution. So in LATAM, for example, with Brazil, Chile, Argentina, and Peru. We are covering in Asia Pacific from Australia, China, India, Singapore, Philippines, and so on, and EMEA with all the major countries in EMEA. If we count everything in the single country solutions that we have, we are managing near 18 different solutions for 18 countries. And for each solution, we have different, what we call level of services. Outsourcing could be different. We can put a cursor and choose the type of outsourcing the customer will need or will request. And one specificity of ESI compared to US and Canada is we have to manage also 7 languages. So our solution works, depending on the country, in 7 languages, and we have to support the sales operation in 7 languages. When I'm talking about solution, for sure, it's, I should say, suites, because for each country, we don't have only payroll, but in some country, I well know France, for example, we have near 30 modules for the French solution. And in some country, we could have also different solutions for small business, mid-market, or large account. In addition to this local portfolio, we are also selling what we call multi-country solutions. So multi-country solutions are for companies who want to streamline their HR processes and HR payroll in all the countries where they operate. So we have different sets of solutions, like, for example, Global View, which is a SAP-based solution that we deliver. We have also ADP Celergo, which is able to cover 140 countries. So sometimes it's local solutions that we are using, but also partnerships, as I already mentioned. And we have also what we call enterprise time, which is a time solution that cover international needs compared to local, to time management that we can, time solutions that we can have in local countries. So 4 additional solutions in only one country, because it's international solutions that we are delivering. And you have to know that our sales team, you know, the 450 sales representatives that I already mentioned, could sell their local product, so the single country solution where they operate, but also all the sales rep could sell also the multi-country solutions. So as a summary, you know, we have a quite big portfolio of solution, which requires a large amount of expertise, because HR could be very complex. There are some countries where it's very, very complex, like France. As an example, I well know France. So, and during the last months, it was very complex also because of regulatory related to COVID and pandemic, as you can guess. So a lot of expertise needed to support a lot of solution and a lot of sales representative. So in order to organize and streamline our processes, we have done quite a huge amount of work in order to better organize during the last 5 years, to reorganize our pre-sales support and the way that we will support the sales. So the 3 major ideas in order to streamline our sales and business consulting processes is, first, in terms of organization. Second, we are a service company, so we absolutely like, you know, what we call service definition. So we have also defined a very clear scope of services that are available for our sales rep. And it's absolutely necessary to clarify role and responsibilities in order to have some fluid activities and to have the best support. And last but not least, process and automation of processes is key in an organization like us. And also what we call qualification. Qualification is also a very, very important process in our organization. So first, in terms of organization, so before describing you our organization, just a little step back on our basic mission statement. You know, we call it business consulting and not pre-sales for one reason. The reason is because of, as you can guess, we cover some topics that are absolutely common to all pre-sale, which is solution design or bid management. That can be called also RFP answering. But we cover, we want also, we have some more consulting activities that we do in a very early stage of opportunities. So we call it TCO studies. So it's total cost of ownership. To go straight to the point and to explain what it means, what we do as TCOs and what we call TCO studies, it's that we do some business cases. We calculate, the cost, the total cost of the HR function, HR, people cost, but also IT cost, but also all hidden costs that the customer could have. And we show the value to go to outsourcing. So we've done this kind of study for more than 15 years now when I'm speaking. So we have a lot of data that we are providing also as we call business insight. So that's a very valuable asset that we bring also to our sales team. Okay. So to summarize, classical pre-sales activity, but also non-classical sales activity, because for us, it's not only doing pre-sales, but also doing more advisory to our bring advisory to our prospect or customer. So in terms of organization, for sure, it's very difficult to have all knowledge ready for use in every case. If you remember, we have a lot of solution and we have a lot of country to cover. So we have decided, in order to streamline our organization, to split our role in 3 different types, job types. So the first type of jobs that we have is what we call field business consultant. That we can call also pre-sales, because it's very similar that pre-sales activities that you can see everywhere. So the field business consultant are local people. They are all based in countries. They have, most of them, all of them have the local knowledge about regulatory, HR, but also IT competencies. So their main task is to do what we call solution design, including, for sure, demos, but also in some cases, due diligence. We also cover contract negotiations. They also cover contract negotiation in some cases, mainly in large accounts. And globally speaking, they have the specialist expertise. They are the one who can go in details, and they are covering for sure payroll, local payroll, but also global payroll. And it could be a totally different approach in some case, but also the non-payroll, so time, HR, and so on, benefits, and so on and so on. And they also perform business cases in some cases. So this is classical organization. Which is not classical is in order to streamline our organization and also to help the field BC. We say BC, so the field business consultant, in order to make them focus on face-to-face meeting and on expertise. We have created 5 years ago what we call COEs. So we currently have 3 centers of excellence. One is based in Brazil, in Sao Paulo. One is based in Romania, in Bucharest. And one is based in Manila. So Sao Paulo is covering LATAM, Bucharest is covering EMEA, and Manila is covering Asia Pacific. Globally speaking, and not going into detail, the role of the Center of Excellence, we can say that they do mostly the same job, but with the difference that they are more dedicated on more, I would say, transactional tasks. Like, for example, RFP answering. So they handle, all RFP answering with the expertise, in some case, of the field BC when it's needed. They are also managing all the content required for RFP, which is a very important process in order to have always the accurate information. They do some virtual demo presentation. It could be in different types. It could be one-to-one presentation, but always in virtual mode, because they are not face-to-face with customer. But in some countries, that's not in every country, we also do some what we call collective demos. It's, let's say, webinar-like demos where we gather several customers. It's more for small business or maybe for more early stage, I would say. And they also build all the demo recordings that can be used for sales or for field business consulting. What is very interesting is that, and especially in the team in Bucharest, we have people with really language skills. So to give you an example, in our team in Bucharest, we have most of the people are speaking at least 3 languages. Some are speaking 5 languages. So they are able to deliver support in Romanian for sure, English, that's mandatory for all of us, but also for some of them in Spanish, but also in Portuguese, and so on and so on. Basically, that's the same kind of work, but we have clearly a split of activities that make it very efficient, especially in some process like RFP process, for example. Last but not least, as we have a quite extensive or comprehensive portfolio of solutions, we have also some dedicated consultants that we call domain specialists that are not dedicated to a client-facing role. They will not see clients, but their role is to be a kind of intermediate between the pre-sales and sales team with the rest of ADP. So they are kind of internal enablers between sales, but with product marketing and the service delivery, for example. And their role is especially very important when we launch new offerings. And with the number of countries that we are covering, you can guess that we are often delivering new offering or new services, new features, and so on. So they are very important, even they never see customer or on very, very exceptional cases. So that's maybe one of the more important element on streamlining our activity. Second element, second very important element is to really define when we support sales and to do what. So not going into detail, first, the BC role, the business consulting role, start when we have a qualified lead. So the slide that I'm showing is not covering, the very early stage of lead generation. That's not our role. My slide is starting when we have a first contact generated by marketing. So as you see, we are providing a certain number of activities. Some are before, during qualification of the lead. So for sure, it's business insight, but also that's where we start TCO studies. So we start at what we call TCO scan in some case. When we know that the deal is qualified and that we need to move forward and design really the solution that we want to offer and to present to the prospect, that's where you will find the more activities for the business consulting team. So it could be RFP answering, I already mentioned that. It could be sending demo recording, but it could be also delivering demos or service presentation or implementation presentation. It could be very diverse, I would say. You will see on that slide that I use two colors because we don't do exactly the same, we don't provide the same level of support in small business, mid-market, and large accounts. To be very clear, for large accounts, we follow the prospect from the very early stage until the handover to implementation. And especially, and that's very specific to large account, the business consulting team is also participating to contract negotiation because it has to be really closely connected to the solution design. And especially the business consultant are the one who build, the service definition appendix in order to fit with the needs of the customer and the requirement of the customer. Okay. Alors, to go in more detail, and I will not explain everything, we organize all our activities in what we call categories. So you have here a summary of the category of activities that we deliver to the sales team. It's a summary because there's more in detail. So you have, as an example, in red, all demo activities, all activities around demo. So as an example, it's I already mentioned, bringing to a collective demo. It's also going on site to do individual demos and so on. So all those activities are at the disposal of the sales, and they are able to ask, to request within this list of activity. So this list of activity is not exactly the same for all size of companies, because we are not, we are only 80 pre-sales consultants, so we are not able to cover everything in all markets. So so in that slide, I've just kept the image for large accounts. That's where we are bringing the more type of task. We can support more. As an example, at the opposite, for small business, we don't do, as an example, individual demos. It's only collective demos that are performed by the business consulting team. And for sure, also we bring and we deliver some demo recordings that they can use. In that case, it's we call them inside sales. The inside sales will do their demo by themselves, and we just help them in order to start, the connection with the prospect. Well, as you see, it's a very extensive portfolio of activities that we can deliver. So if it was just like that, it will not work. That's where, the processes are very important. So in addition to the very clear scope of services that we present, that we describe to our customer, internal customer, who are the sales representative, we have also two major processes. So our processes are, by the way, organized in Salesforce. So sales rep who needs a BC has to start something has to do a request in Salesforce related to his opportunity. In the slides, I use only the case of demos because that's the more common type of request that we receive. For every request that they will have, they never send any emails. They just submit BC request through a process in Salesforce. They could ask for demo recording sending if they are not able to send by themselves the recording. They will request enrollment to a collective demo with a calendar that is communicated to all sales in our internal website. They can request a custom demo and so on. A very important thing that is slightly summarized here, that doing a process in Salesforce allows us to control the type of request that we receive. Depending on the size of the company, depending on the type of customer, depending on the country, depending on the type of solution that is concerned by the request, automatically we will qualify. We have some qualification questions in order to be quicker and to understand quicker the request. And we have also some automatic workflows that makes that the right request will arrive to the right BC manager, who will be able to assign the right BC with the right skill. And that's a very, very important process for us, because it's saved a lot of time, a lot of discussion. You know, in the past we were doing by mail. That was a nightmare, to be honest. But it's a lot of back and forth in order to really understand what is needed. With this process, we save really a lot of time. So we have absolutely the equivalent for RFP. So when an RFP is arriving to is arriving to ADP, the sales guy has to submit what we call an RFP request. Same principle. The RFP is qualified. We have we do that's the same with BC requests. We have what we call scoring questions that give us a flavor if it's interesting to go forward or not. So we have also some deal review in order to know if we go forward or not. And we have also a process that help us, depending to the complexity of the RFP, to assign the right organization. So as an example, when it's a complex RFP, in most of the case, it will be managed by field BC with the support, in some case, of the COE. Average size RFP, not very complex, will be managed by the COE with the expertise of the field BC. And when it's only standard proposals, it will just be done by the sales with a specific tool. And we just bring the content available for them in that case. The content is for sure coming from marketing, but not only in our case. It's also information coming from marketing, but also from internal services like legal, like communication, and so on and so on. Okay. So to support all of this, clearly we are using some tools, as you can guess. I already mentioned Salesforce. I will not go back on the two major processes. So it's it's customized development that we have done in Salesforce. Those processes are the same for every DM, every sales in ADP. It's not only ESI, it's the same for every country and every solution. Again, what's very important is we automate the workflows. And if, for example, a French DM is requesting a demo on a local solution on payroll, as an example, it will go directly to my mailbox and with a link, and I'm able to see directly all the data, all information regarding to the opportunity or the customer. That's the same process for RFP. So that's very, very, for us, it's very key processes. For RFP, we are using a tool also that helps us quite a lot. This tool is called RFP.io. There are several on the market to do so. This one is very efficient, by the way. Remember that we have a lot of solutions. So we do have, we are managing a lot of question and answer. We have around 10,000 question and answer for all solutions, plus 2,000 question and answer for the multi-country solution, all in local language. We have also some capitalization processes. We have also workflows in order to facilitate maintenance. For demo recording, as you can guess, we are using Consensus in a multinational mode, I would say. So we have around 120 videos available in 7 languages. We have some improvement to do because today we are using mostly Consensus for technical demos. So we want to improve that and to build, more overview demos, but also maybe also demo recordings for later stage, because we are spending quite a lot of time in answering questions after, at the end of the sales process. And we know that we can also gain efficiency on that side using Consensus for that. Today, it's also Consensus. It's also a good way to bring autonomy to our sales, to our district managers, and it's also something very important for us because we can't support everything, clearly. And last but not least, we have also internal tools that are more common, I would say. We are using SharePoint. We have big knowledge database because we have, as in every big companies, we have a lot of information coming from all departments. So we need to gather and share all that data. And our sales representatives are also using a dedicated tool, which is called Seismic, in order to share some document to prospect. Well, this is more common, I would say. So just to give you a flavor of our day-to-day life, in ESI, we are managing around, on a yearly base, around 5,000 requests. And among these 5,000 requests is between 55 and 70% product presentation demos, by the way. When we count, the process is the same. We also ask our DMs to do BC requests when they want to send demo recording. So I know that 10% of this product presentation are also just, between quotes, demo recording that has been sent. So it allows us, demo recording allows us to do more and to spend more time on customizing, specific demos that we are often asked, especially in large deals. In order to be complete, you have to know that we also manage 500 RFP per year, with big difference between countries. In France, it's nightmare because in France we are receiving by year around 150 RFP, which is huge for only one country. That's different in other countries. It's very, it's very cultural. So in France, in on multinational deals also, we receive quite a lot of RFPs. And if you remember our organization, 30% of all those requests are managed by our COE. I'm a little late, I need to hurry a little bit. So as the last process, you have to know that as we have very often some new product launch, new services, new product launch, we have also some process in order to be ready to support the team. So that's also a very, very important process. And we have a kind of checklist, we call it the BC Acceptance Criteria Matrix, where we list all what we need in order to be able to support the sales team. So it's for sure material for demo, online demo recording. Also, the list of all the content that we required for RFP answering, training is part of that, and so on and so on. So clearly, with all these optimizations that we have done, we were able to increase year after year the level of support that we bring to the sales, and to optimize and to shorten our sales cycle. Just very last figures that I shared before questions. We increased by mostly 30% compared to the previous year the number of requests that we were able to handle. With all putting in place all those processes. And also qualification is absolutely key in our organization, because with 450 sales representatives, we can't do everything, we can't fight everywhere, and that's all of that is very important. So thank you for your attention. I hope that I was clear and that my French accent didn't disturb you too much. So I'm ready for question. I'm a little late. I'm sorry for that. So I'm ready for question if you have questions.
Thanks so much, Olivier. That was great. We did have a couple questions come in. Let me just pull these up here. Okay. For the videos that you are recording, do you use the same content and then redub the language over the top, or is everyone creating their own videos?
Today, that's something that we want to change. Today, the demo recording was an initiative that we have done within the BC team. So as a start, we use consensus and demo recording to be more precise, only in order to optimize the level of support that we are doing. But we are testing in the inside sales team. So the sales that are that are selling to small business, the possibility for them to record also some demo. So in order to be clearer, because in order to summarize what I've just said, we have a library of pre-recorded demo that we use in order to double what we do as pre-sales activity. We use also demo recording to answer to some question, and that's where we want to improve what we do, is to have pre-designed answers in order to have a library of pre-answered question that we can do like that. But also we have some sales reps that are using just to record some very specific presentation to some prospect.
Okay.
Okay.
One more. Okay, we got another one here from Tom. Tom's asking, how long is your typical sales cycle from first contact to closure? What's the difference between small and large accounts?
Very interesting question. That's large account could be, when I say large account, I include multinational, but also also large local. I can talk for France, for example. We have, customers with 20,000 employees, which is large accounts for us. But it could be also 20,000 employees among the globe. So it's also a large customer. Even in each country, it's very small number of employees. So we have two types. So in large accounts, it could be a 6 months or 9 months. It's very large sales cycle. Small accounts, at the opposite, it's 1 week, 2 weeks. Mid-market as an average, the sales cycle is between 1 month and 2 months.